and welcome back to another video. We have the April ScrawlrBox today. This came nice and on time, so let's get into this immediately. Oh, how exciting already. Oh, we've had a spoiler. We have had a spoiler. Alright, get those back in there. Oh no. Okay, let's have a look at the featured artwork first. Very nice. Oh, I love the texture. I really like this style and I find it very, very difficult. I've been practicing in my sketchbook of late and this is kind of certain things that I'm testing out a little bit. I really like this. So the featured artist is Katarina, an illustrator and graphic designer currently based in Prague, Czech Republic. Very nice. Make sure to follow their socials there at the bottom. All right, let's get straight into these supplies since we've already seen a little spoiler. I'm excited about this already, I can tell. Right, I think that's everything. Okay, so first off, our sweet is this blue lollipop. Very nice. This is fruit flavour. I'm not sure what fruit flavour. Nice, I'll give a sweet rating here. Okay, then we've got our vinyl sticker, which is a little snippet of the featured artwork. Very nice. Okay, so the elephant in the room here is these professional watercolours. Now, I've done a video testing professional watercolours versus the student grade Cotman watercolours in tubes, and let me tell you, these professional watercolours are extremely expensive, very, very expensive, and it especially depends on what series you're using. So these are actually a mix. There's a few series 2 and 3s in here, which would mean they're even more expensive than the series 1s. So that's really interesting. So in terms of colours, we have raw umber, we have smalt, Dumont's blue, interesting. Then we have quinacridone violet, we've got viridian hue and terra verte. Now I already have the raw umber and the terra verte and they're very nice colours. This is almost a bit like a pond watercolour, the one that I have anyway, which is a professional watercolour, so I'll be interested to see if this differs at all. And then these three colours, I have used viridian hue, but I've never used the quinacridone violet or the smalt Dumont's blue. So I'm interested to see what those colours look like and we'll swatch them out. Then we have been given a Winsor & Newton Cotman paintbrush. So this is in size 111 round. I can't see underneath the sticky label what the actual size is, but we've just got a round brush of a medium size. Very nice. And then finally we have a Winsor & Newton liner pen in black 0.5. So kind of a middle-sized tip there. Very, very nice. So very heavy on the Winsor & Newton. All Winsor & Newton supplies, even the paper, which looks to be a really, really cute postcard paper. I'm assuming it has this on the back of it and then you can paint on the front. That's really nice. I do like these. Very, very Winsor & Newton. I love that. I'm a big advocate for Winsor & Newton and it is just a really lovely brand. Very, very nice. I like this kind of feel of travel. It's very nice. I like that. Let's have a look at the Scrawlr Zine. So we have the selection of supplies there as usual. You're going to have to bear with me because I'm using my new camera and this is a whole different setup to my previous setup. So you're just having to bear with me a little. We have the featured artist and a bit more of their works. I love this style. I really, really love this style. We have the Scrawlr tips. Again, as always, I will give a brief overview of these as we're swatching the supplies. Some more Scrawlr tips and a deep dive into using the watercolours. Then we have some artist advice and behind the artwork. Oh, this feels blasphemous. Then we have the Scrawlr gallery from 2 months prior. So this is when we received the Himi gouache in the tubes and the washi tape in the pencil. And the Scrawlr challenge was Forest Finds. And it was it was heavily insinuated to use mushrooms and forestry scenes, and I feel like all of these Scrawlr Gallery pieces have used that. They're very, very wonderful. Lovely pieces there. I love this little cheeky chap. That's really sweet. That's really, really cute. And then the top 3. Oh, I did see them show this on their Instagram. It's very nice. It's almost like it's inverted colours. I really like that. I love the kind of more Studio Ghibli-esque vibe of this. It's very, very nice. And I love the detail of this one. You're almost taken to a hidden world. Beautiful. I think they're wonderful top 3. Very nice. Then we have the Scrawlr and Extra, which is 5 Winsor & Newton watercolour innovations throughout history. Oh, I'm excited to read that. Oh, look at this. That's really cool. I like that. Okay. And some further things. Thousands of artists, one destination, art mail. So this is all about the art mail. And our ScrawlrBox challenge for this month is Destination Unknown. So very broad, very broad. You can cater that to a specific location. You can potentially do some sort of just landscape, I guess, which is probably the way I'm going to go. I've been painting a lot of landscapes lately, and I feel like these supplies heavily lean that way for me. But I'm excited to try them. So let's get to swatching. I'll read those Scrawlr tips, and then we'll create some sort of artwork for Destination Unknown. Alright, so on to the Scrawlr tips. It's the same kind of tips as you would have for most watercolours. You know, make sure you're swatching, you've got the wet on wet technique, you've got ways of achieving granulation using table salt, rock salt, more water, less water, charging, which is applying your paint to the page, and then add a darker colour or more pigment of the same colour and it will bloom out and result in a soft transition of colour and granulation. There's adding texture using cling film, using a sponge, and sgraffito, and then layering, working from light to dark, which is what you would generally do when you're working with watercolours, and then mixing, so mixing on a palette, applying your paint to the palette and mix to get the colours you want, mixing on the paper, directly on the paper, and then also just the usual tip of avoid mixing too many colours together, which can turn them into a flat brown or a grey colour. So I swatch these colours. Usually I would do quite an intense swatch where I try each colour mixing with one another, but a few things came up in my personal life which you will see me announce in my vlog that just gave me a bit less time and motivation to do that, so I did just swatch all the colours just individually and then started to try and work out how the featured artist had achieved those lovely blooming colours. And I think on this right hand side, not what I'm working on currently, I managed to achieve it, and I really like the look of it, especially when dry. It was very, very nice, and the colours are so vibrant. I can definitely feel that these are professional watercolours rather than student grade. They were very nice indeed to work with. Now onto the artwork. I just did a landscape, a generic landscape with a tree in the foreground, and I really enjoyed using these. The only thing and gripe I kind of had was just that the umber colour, the raw umber colour was just, just for the artwork I wanted to create, I wish it was a bit of a brighter, cleaner yellow, because unfortunately as it mixed with the other colours you did get a bit of a muddy colour no matter how much you tried to separate them. So just something to bear in mind if you are going to use that as a yellow colour. It does muddy very, very easily, but I very much enjoyed all the colours, and I created a bit of a moody sky with the quinacridone violet and the blue, and adding a little bit of yellow in there just to see how that looked, and it created a very nice moody sky, and I'm very much pleased with that. In terms of the colours, the Verte, the pond watercolour I described, I do already have that colour, but weirdly it's a very different colour to this, and they're the same colour, they're the same series, everything. But the one that we received in the ScrawlrBox is ever so slightly more on the blue side, whereas the colour I already had is very much on the yellow side. It's very strange, I'm not sure why there's such a big difference, but they are very, very different. So that was quite interesting to me, and I have henceforth refilled my Etcher Mini palette with the new Terra Verte, just because it is actually a much nicer colour than the one I already had. Because like I mentioned, it was very much like pond water and very transparent. That's all I will say about that colour, even the new one, so also bear that in mind. But yes, I was finishing off this sky here, and then I move into the foreground. I think as I was doing this, I was both underworking and overworking this painting. I found after I started layering in this horizon kind of background, I was struggling to get the contrast I wanted, so I did mix up a bit of a dark colour, and I do regret that a little bit because it did look like it muddied ever so slightly. But as you can see here, this is the lovely bright emeraldy colour mixing with that umber, and it just muddied completely. So I thought in the foreground here I'll add brighter colours. The Viridian green is very bright, and so I thought I would add that colour in the foreground. Not a realistic colour for my landscape, but I mean, I've added purple into the sky and all sorts, so I thought it would be a good kind of contrast between that middle ground that we've seemed to have muddied up there. So I worked with that and applied some more washes. I was working light to dark as usual, and just let the paint go onto this paper. Because this is cold pressed paper, you've got that dimpling, and so the water really sits in those dimples and looks really lovely, and I very much like that. And it's nice. Like I say, I struggled with that contrast, and here I was trying to line it a little bit to kind of add those rolling hills and make sure they are standing out from the sky, and then adding that detail in the foreground shortly does also help with that. But the colours are lovely, the paint's lovely. I don't think I was in the right frame of mind to paint, so I don't think I sat down and really explored these as well as can be, so I definitely will be doing that in the future and using these paints a little bit more. But watercolours are a staple in my supply chest. I just tend to do less landscapes and more animals with them, so maybe I'll do some painting with them and do some animals in the future. But they were very, very nice supplies, very much worth the money, this box, because I know how expensive these professional watercolours can be, and it was a lovely box all round. So thank you very much for watching. I'll leave you to watch the final details of this painting and the final result. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.